Start recording. All right. So welcome everyone. We're going to start on the 12-month chart. For those that are new to the stream, so we normally work on these high time frames on Friday mornings for me, which is Thursday evenings for everyone in New York. So we'll begin here. So we've been watching this 12-month order block here, down close candle from 2022. This becomes our bullish OB for the 12 monthly. So we have our plus OB and we're watching 50% of that as well. Feel free, anyone, to drop any questions as we go. Purchased that new vertical screen yesterday so I can get another 3 charts up so I can watch oil, euro, and gold as well during the day. I'll put that screen box just down next to my desk, and my kitten's having a good play with that at the moment. So if you hear some scratching in the background, he's going to town over there. Good evening, CAT. Thanks for joining in. So 12-month chart. So we have our, let me reverse this, sorry. So we're watching, make sure we got that from the high to the low. We're watching this as well. So it didn't quite come back into discount of this candle here, of our bullish order block, which is good. So that price is held. We've come down, we've failed, or are failing at the moment to come below here. Swept down and coming back up nicely. If we go into the 6-month, we were watching this ICB here. For a bounce as well. So we've come down in, we've touched the ICB. So similar to when on the 5-minute when we're looking for those manipulation swings, this is no different. So we want the inverted fair value gaps, the ICB in this case, to hold and get flipped for support. Send that to the back. See a nice reaction here. Back on the 6-month, sorry, 3 months. So this is that that high of that 12-month order block. This is our bullish order block here. So nice to see we've pushed straight back up and we're above this now. Current monthly. So we've done an open low and plausible high close now for the rest of the month. Back to monthly open. Morning, Cloud Surfer. Thanks for joining. And then on the monthly too, we have this order block here. So these down close candles, even from this high to the low, this becomes our order block. So this order block was responsible for this breakout, the break of this high. And so prices come back into 50% of that order block. That was our reaction. Plus we had that 6-month ICB and the 12-month bullish order block. And on the monthly, we have a SBS here. 1, 2, this becomes 3, 4, 5, and 6 will be the high. And we can do our OTE of this swing as well. So low, from the low swing up to 3. Just need to reverse that. And we had the sweep of that 7, 9. So lots of confluence down here. So even with news and tariffs, it's still being algorithmically delivered. Manipulated down. Let's go to weekly. So we're coming up now. We're about to get our weekly break here. And then we've also got this this whole swing here. So we are talking about this last week with Jess for a weekly deviation, which could get interesting for the rest of the year. Gives us lots of high targets. So if this weekly closes above this other order block, so we've come down, swept below. We've got to close above here, then this order block, if we go down to the body, will become our bullish order block as well. And we can look for longs off of there next week. Going to close up, come back for an open low, high close next week. Hi, Coco Luck, welcome. Let's go down to the daily. So daily, we've got this one here will be our manipulation swing. So another level there to watch for a break for our daily. We have OTE of this swing. Come back into discount. Continues up. Some nice nice structure building at the moment. We really want to see some breaks above here for continuation. And so we have a daily order block here. So this is what caused that last main move. These two order blocks. If we mark them out. So we want to see breaks of these two. So at the moment we're coming out to 50% of this order block, which caused this move down. So key level here to watch. All right, so we'll just get rid of this. I'll just clear those and I'll go into our 1 hour, which I already had drawn up. Put these on. So in our review yesterday, sorry, I'm just read the question. Do we trust that the down move is over? I still think this is a manipulation up to come back down. How do we look for signs that the next move down is just a retracement and above time frame? So looking at the on the monthly and above, like a lot of it's going to come back to monthly close. So we want to see the monthly close back into this range, back above here. It will also be good to mark out if we need to do like 50% of this week. Show you once it comes in. And we can also watch like 50% of this order block. So if we get a close above 50%, then that's definitely Definitely looking bullish. Whereas respecting that 50% level, we still need to be wary of the price rejecting up here. But, this style of candle, like this one here, right? We come down, we sweep the lows, which we've swept a lot of lows here. Come in, it's taken a lot of liquidity on the monthly. So you come back in, you sweep, and then it closes above, and then it goes to that candle high, becomes your next target. So we get it open, we swing the lows, we close back into that monthly range, and then we can expect price to go to that high. So yeah, so it's going to be an interesting close, but a good example here with that previous August candle. So if we close back in, plausible to go back to that high. Preferably, we want the close to come in above 50%. Yeah, that's it, GSET. So we need to work with price action and how it's flowing. As T would say, we need to be like water, right? And this is looking like a nice bullish structure building. So the monthly close in another week. It's going to be very interesting. Be keen to review this next week. Okay, let's put these back on. How many people in here were here yesterday? Did you guys watch the stream yesterday or the video recording? So what we're looking at from the 1 hour, drawn up this the bullish SBS. So we had our breakout here. Swing was 1, retracement was 2. We've gone up to 3, and we're looking for a sweep of 2. Yesterday or today for some people. Sweep of 2, and I wanted to see price come back in, fill this gap, and mitigate this order block here that caused this move up for 4 and 5. Continuation. I wish I had stayed up. GOCT. I was mainly looking for the short back down to 2. So I wanted a little bit more manipulation above true day open. I wanted London to come up and test this order block here and short from here down to 2. That was my play for London. Which I didn't get, and then I went to bed after I closed the charts. I didn't get that short. So I've missed this whole expansion move up. I was pretty tired from staying up yesterday as well, trying to get yesterday's expansion. Sorry, I wanted to get yesterday's short move. But it's like around 1 a.m. here. So I wanted this move to be at 9:30 yesterday, the previous day, to get that move. So I was worn out from that. And then, yeah, I just didn't have the brain power to stay up to catch the long for New York. So we also have, we can do a deviation off this leg now as well. So we've got the sweep of 2 and just expand it up. It's too bullish to come down into this order block. So this becomes our 4 and then 5. It's 5 down here. And then we will be targeting the high of 3. So we can do a deviation now from this swing. So high that made the low. And this we got this deviation here from Monday as well. So we're using the 1 hour chart for looking for the weekly low and that manipulation swing to measure out the weekly expansion. So we've had our push up to SD 1.5. Then we get your reaccumulation, which is that SBS that's played out here. 1, 2, 3, sweep of 2, 4, 5. We expand up. Now we've come back into SD 2.5, which is our reaccumulation phase 2. So you're keen to see now how this next bit plays out. We've got SD 3.5 of this leg here as well. So this is our 1 hour deviation for the day. So manipulated below true day open, breaks out, retests, expands up. Pretty much just use the 1 hour chart for clean manipulation entry today. Very nice structure. All right. So we're looking for continuation. We do have, so on the higher time frame where we'd marked that the 50% of the order block, we've got this 1 hour swing here. This is what created this move down. So we're in this at the moment too. So we need to watch 50% level of this swing as well, which is coming up to that SD 3.5 and SD 4.5 from our Monday's standard deviation. And then the next leg to watch will be this one as well above that, which also lines up with that SD 4.5. Just above. And this swing was responsible for this breakdown and hasn't been mitigated either or retested. All right, let's jump in to our review. Oh, another thing I wanted to add today, which we were discussing in the lab channel, the manipulation lab channel, was looking at the deviations of the Asia range. So I'll quickly show you guys how that played out for the day as well. Put that on this chart here. And just from using ICT everything. And in here we have our deviations here. So we can select just the Asia range and standard deviations of the Asia range and select that to 4. So I'm going to monitor these a little bit more and see how well they line up. Yeah, hit it on the dot. So 4 deviations of the Asia range. Didn't quite come down to 1 for the manipulation, but we did hit SD 4.5 of the Asia manipulation here. So we've hit that, broken out. And very cleanly gone to 4 deviations of the Asia range. And so the Asia range being this box here. No, just missed the -1 there. But, still a good point of interest as we're coming back towards that and then just waiting for a change in state of delivery to get the move back the other way. So, like along in here, and then after we break above, stop to break even, still respected. And we've got our 20 smooth moving average here. You see respected all the way as well. But yeah, definitely going to be monitoring these Asia range deviations more, and I'll keep posting them into the session manipulation channel in the lab for you guys to have a look. Hey, best month ever. Nice to have you in here. Market is exhausted after today's move. Is it even worth trading this session? Yes. Every session is worth watching and planning for. You don't have to trade it as such, but if it presents your entry model, then it is worth trading. Yeah, nice respect to you too, GRCT, over each level. Similar to like we get with the standard deviations. We can do a bigger deviation of this swing as well. See how they lined up, 4.5. Not much with the 2.5. 1.5 is here, which is also the 4.5 of the 5-minute swing. Yeah, nice respect of those levels. All right, so just change charts here. Just had a swoop at the high there as well. We can now watch this swing that's playing out at the moment. And we'll draw this up later with our daily chart setup, but just put a box there for now. So if we do get a break of that, and look for a plausible breakdown. All right, let's turn this back off and we'll get into the day. So from Asia, we just had a grind down. We had a New York PM high that we wanted to watch for the day, and the New York PM low. New York PM low was here. And I'll just pop our quarters on. So these are our 90-minute cycles. So we've had a quarter two manipulation in Asia. This becomes our Asia manipulation zone. You can see that well respected here and then flipped into New York. Move that across. We've had our displacement here in quarter three. Breakout, and that's what we're waiting for. And we did an OTE swing. Sorry, from the breakout is here. So I was looking for shorts back into the zone. Actually had limit orders set up at the OTE, which didn't get tapped. So this was set up on my funded accounts, and then I had a took a short from here just on my top step on a top step eval that I was working on, kick combine, which was the only one that got the entry. But the trade idea for Asia was this. It's a good example too, where sometimes it's just better just to enter off the zone, get in here. So in yesterday's stream, I was talking about the new H4 opening at 2 o'clock and then coming back up and taking some of this liquidity that was built here, coming up and then going down to target. So that was my plan for Asia yesterday. Would have been I'm better off just coming in from the zone, which was here. So we come back up, retest the zone, continue down. We flipped that 20 SMA here. And we got a New York PM low for the drawn liquidity. And we had a bearish SBS here. So breakdown 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, that was from the previous day. So that did already sweep 3. That was already gone. becomes irrelevant. So come back up. We've had our breakdown. 1, 2. There's no bearish SBS here. So just grinding down for Asia. Had one in here. So break. So we broke and through. So the break of this low. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Even this will, oh no, 4, 5, 6. So that the break of 3 becomes target for that SBS there, and this becomes our 6. Grab this one. And we can do another OTE from this swing, which caused that first swing. So from 1 to 3, template, OTE. Get that in the right spot. So we come back to 705 for 4. 5 made the lower high, and then down to 6. And this is our new H4 open. So then we've opened high and then gone low. So manipulation up into Q2 of London here. This was our manipulation high of this 4-hour candle, so from 2 to 6 o'clock, and expanded down and hit that SD 4.5 quite nicely there. So SD 4.5 of the Asia manipulation zone plus PDL, and then that was the 2 of this swing here. So we have 1, we come back to 2, this becomes 3 for our higher time frame SBS that we were looking at. Break, that becomes 4. And then the next low, higher low becomes 5, and we expand up to 6. So reaccumulation here from Asia, SD 1.5, redistribution, sorry, down to SD 2.5. A little bit of redistribution here from SD 2.5, and then expansion to SD 4.5. We then get our change in state of delivery again. Come back out, we've got displacement in here. It's our displacement. Broken out, retest of zone. Doesn't come back into OTE or back into the BISI. It's too bullish and expands out Q4. So then we'll be looking for longs off the zone, stop below the zone. And TP points are SD 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, and 4.5. So new H4 at 6 o'clock, open low, extremely high close. Times do we have? So coming into 6 o'clock macro times down here. Expansion up to that 4.5. So nice reaction there. To come back down to 7:30. Then this swing up here. Is that a news candle or a Trump tweet there? Was anyone up for that for that candle? Yeah. So that's going to become our manipulation. So it's sort of up, down, higher than made the low. So we can then get a measurement just off of that. And that becomes our Q2 zone. And we get another deviation from that as well. Trying to deal with Trump and some new stuff. Got stopped on a trade there, yeah. Imagine that took out quite a few people. What was the 79? Went candle. And a BPR in there as well. I'd get just above the BPR. So that became our lower high for that fifth swing. So we've got another higher time frame breakout here now. This is showing more evidence of a daily manipulation. So this whole section here becoming accumulation, building up liquidity all the way down. Make this a bit thicker. So building up liquidity all the way down, allowing fuel for the long to push up. Accumulation, manipulation, distribution, power of three. And then also we have that larger standard deviation. Back to PDH, SD4 4.5. US is considering exceptions for some China auto parts. Yeah. Small quarter three manipulation here. A little bit of an SBS here too. Let me just get rid of these long setups so we can see better. We'll do a down here. So from this breakout, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6 breaking the 3. Oh, 1 in here, 1, 2, 3, unless we had SMT in there. And Q3 manipulation down and just continuation. Strong. Breakout, retest. This would have been interesting here too. So 3-wave into PDH and SD 4.5. Imagine people would have been looking for shorts in this area. Still no change in say delivery. So this is why we wait for those breaks. So the low that made the high, we want body closes below and displacement below for a change. We can see it's just respecting this order block here that caused the breakout. 50% of that still being respected. Price continues up. Remove wicks from chart to look for the CISD. Yeah, CISDs. I still want to have the wicks on though to get those measurements. Standard deviations. Just hardly any strong moves down until quarter three here in the PM session, which just comes back to this order block here. So down close candle that causes the breakout. Price comes back, tests 50%, continues up. Another SBS from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Break 6, 6 for TP. How do you mitigate the fake outs? So when we see just this structure, if we press replay, coming into quarter three, it's sort of like, I guess time helps with these as well. So we're calling this our zone. We've had displacement. We've broken. We do a deviation of this. So already this has broken our rule for entry because it's gone down already down to SD 1.5, almost SD 2.5. So as soon as we hit SD 1.5, there's no, the rule is there's no entry because TP1's already been hit. And then using the macro times, so we want the retracement back into the zone plus an OTE for entry. So let's say we didn't hit SD 1.5 and we were down here. We want, so we want the break back to SD1, and then we come back into the zone, CB plus OTE, and then we're coming back to target SD 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, 4.5. And we want that entry up here to be in a macro time, but the macro time's down the bottom. So this, the 1500 candle, if we're using time on our side, has open low. So straight away we've got a 1 hour open low, plausible high close. Yeah, so if price just nukes straight down to TP1, TP2, there's no trade. And that helps you stay out of that. And with time on our side. And then if we're also watching those order blocks that create those breakouts, we can see that being well respected with a macro time. 20 SMAs being well respected here, not breaking and flipping. Just got to stack that confluence. And we would do an OTE swing from here to 3. Another 7-9 suit. Expansion up to 6. This zone's starting to get a little bit higher now. And then this is what I've talked about a few times. When we can see when the zone's disrespected, it gets flipped. So it's come back straight out, broken above, and then flips that zone for support. It continues up again. Nice respect. All right. Any questions on the day, guys? So best trades for the day really were from here. So from that Asia manipulation zone, getting in at that 2130. Expansion down to SD 4.5 plus PDL. And that was our previous Asia low as well on the previous day. That gets swept. Break of structure here for London from quarter 4. Getting in here and then pushing that to SD 4.5 on the 5-minute. Or if looking at that higher change in state of delivery back to PDH, which was also our sixth swing from that 1 hour. SBS 1, 2, 3, 4, sweeps 2, 5, lower high, and 6 breaks 3. All right, we'll go to our daily setup. I'll just clear this chart here and we'll pop on our indicator. First thing we want to do is mark out our PDH, PDL. Our PDH is here. Move this over to 1800. PDH, PDL was our London low. We do our fixed range volume profile of the range. Oops, didn't get that PDL in the right spot. PDH to PDL. We want to get our OTE of the range. So reverse that. And then we're looking for PD arrays within the OTE of the range. And we want our previous session low and highs. So we have our NYPM low here. This becomes our point of interest for Asia. NYPMH has already been swept. Put that on because we can use that as a range as well. So if price does break down here, comes back into the PM range, and we can look for price to continue down to the low. So previous range high, our previous session high has already been hit. And then we have our zones. So we're going to use this whole swing here. Low. Quarter 3 and quarter 4 manipulation. We have NYAM Q3. Grab this whole swing here. Turn off this indicator now. We've got our fixed range volume profile pop is here. And we're going to put on our 4-hour lines. 1800, 2200, 2, 6, 10, 1400, and 1800. You see, this line here is our TMSO. So this was for the PM session. So manipulation below TMSO. Continued up. Same here for London, manipulation below TMSO. London and New York's around the same area. Small manipulation below TMSO. Continues up. It's just on a one-way ticket at the moment. we can call this our NY AM manipulation zone. London. NYPM Q3 zone here. Grab our deviation from that one. Deviations have already been hit from the low. It's interesting that MSD 4 to 4.5, and that became our point of control. Hardly any volume here. Volume comes in at our levels. Let's mark out our standard deviation levels from the NYPM. Still respecting that 20 SMA. Gold line here is our VWAP. In Q2 at the moment, highly in premium, so I'm not interested in longs until the price comes back to discount, if it comes back to discount. Could you write the numbers of PM high, low standard deviation? What do you mean? Like we've got so this is the manipulation for their Q3. If we'd had our breakout there, we'd have that to come down low. You just want to see them up closer. Yeah, no worries. So point of interest at SD 1.5. For the next one, so I'm not interested in longs, so we're up in premium. And I prefer to work with price that's back in the range. As you guys know, and we've seen lots of times where we want price to come back in, grind down, and build up all these liquidity levels to give us something to target for longs later. Like so, and then we'll target PDH, which we've already broken above. So if we end up getting a Q3 breakdown here, or a plausible plays here, a new H4, so from 2200 open high, break structure, and then we start coming back towards PM low. So we've got a New York PM low here. Look for shorts to come back. Got a 600 profile here. Draw that order block in there too. That was responsible for this breakout. Another point of interest. So plausible play into the next H4. Alternatively, Asia just bounces along PDH here into London, and we get an accumulation range for a few hours into 2 o'clock. We come back up to 3:30. Then we get our break, retest, come back down into the next H4, maybe back to POC here, and then break out. And then we can target the London higher for New York AM. We would then do a deviation from London. Yeah, another AMD, yeah. It's exactly what we like to work with. Whereas when we're just pushing up like this, the only liquidity that's being built is down here. This is why I don't like being in premium or taking any long positions. I want to have price action and liquidity build-ups to then have levels to work with the standard deviations that line up with liquidity points. So we either get a breakdown here into this H4, or we accumulate, manipulate in London, down to manipulate again, and then push up for New York. Yeah, no worries, man. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for the questions. So that's the plan for the day, guys. I hope you all enjoyed the stream. I'm gonna leave it there. And if I see any manipulation in that 2200 or any clean setups, I'll post them as normal. Thanks, guys.